the way that society works does not work for me. And if you are also someone that gets burnt out really easily from working and focusing too much on productivity, if you're someone that has a lot of moments of feeling purposeless and not feeling drawn to the work that you're doing, you don't feel like you understand why you're doing the things you're doing. It's like a rat race kind of situation that you're stuck in. And if you're someone that doesn't have just a baseline normal state of joy on a regular basis, I am here to offer you some hope and to guide you in an alternative way to living that's not so focused on the hustle, the go, the being, doing, getting more, and kind of just relaxing into the present moment and learning how to live from that state and feel satisfied and secure in that state so that you can bring a lot more fun, freedom, and fulfillment into your life. Because I think that's really where the magic happens. That's something that we're not taught how to experience. And being someone that has struggled so much with severe depression for many years, like definitely at least 5, it could have been longer. I've struggled with chronic health issues, which now are better, thank God. And I've struggled with procrastination, with substance abuse issues. I had a really bad drinking problem. I was doing drugs. And I've started to work through all of these things. And I've centered my life around creativity, intuition, and slowness. And that has been the antidote to all of the depression and the struggle and the hopelessness. And I just want to give people a path. There is a way out. It is not normal in our society, I feel like. It's becoming more mainstream at this point. But I really want to give people an alternative way. Like, you can have a happy, fulfilled life. You can find the security in your work. You can find a lot more fun by going and living a big, full life. There's no one way to make it through this life. And that's something that, like, we're not conditioned to see. We're conditioned to see that you go to school, then you go to college, and then you get a job and you work that job 40 hours a week, which is fucking insane to me because I am not about to work that long. And like, there's other ways to live. Like, that doesn't have to be the standard. And I am just really here to help give you other alternatives. So, by focusing on creativity, that has just given me really a sense of like a childlike wonder and awe with the world. And that's where so much of my fun happens. Um, so let's talk about creativity. How do you get into a creative state? When do you know you're in a creative state? Oh my God, there's a huge spider on my floor. I don't want to interrupt this. This was going so good. Jesus. I'm gonna put something around it. Do I have a cup, a jar, or something? Here we go. Caught. Done. So how do you know when you're in a creative state? To me, creativity feels like, if you're familiar with a flow state, when I'm painting and I can be so present and in the moment with the painting, I'm not in my mind figuring out how I'm going to lay the next brush stroke or how I'm going to like maneuver through this painting. I'm just in that moment and the creativity flows through me. Like, it just moves and I allow it. And because I'm there with the paintbrush in my hand, that's where the magic happens. Like, it's so much less of a logical like figuring out how to do something and just allowing for the expression and the movement to come through and then seeing where that gets you. Um, it's very much a detached process. I'm not super strict or rigid about how I want something to turn out. And if I am in that state of being strict and rigid, then I don't feel the creativity flow. There's too much pressure and then it takes the fun out of it. So I know I'm in a creative state when things are flowing easily. And that's like with writing, it's the same. I love to write. I don't write right now. I don't have anything like super cohesive, like a book or anything. But just when I'm like in my journal, I'll just journal for pages and pages. And I know I'm in a flow state when I don't have to stop and be like, okay, what do I want to write next? It's just like things are just coming through. Um, so that's a little indication of how you know you're in a creative state. Sorry, I closed the drawer. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? How do we get into a creative state? I think putting yourself in situations that get you out of your normal routine. There's a book called The Artist's Way, I believe. I'm not sure who the author is, um, but the author of this book recommends taking yourself out on an artist date once a week, I think, or I think once a week. I don't do it religiously every week, but I can tell that when I am doing it, I have so much more creative input. So the artist date is you going out alone, no friends, no spouse, no partner, no pet, even. Because you don't want any distractions. You want to do this for yourself. It is just you going into, it can be anywhere. I like to go look at art galleries. Like it's simple, they're free. I'll go grab a coffee or lunch and then I'll go walk around and check out new art galleries or go into like an antique store. Something that stimulates you visually or emotionally. You can go out into nature. Just go somewhere that would be fun. You can go to the dollar store and like pick out little trinkets or like little toys and things. Something that makes you feel like a kid again is a really good idea. I will go walk to the playground and sit on the swing sometimes. Um, just have fun with it. Creativity is expression. It's not anything that you're holding back. So like just go for it and try something and be in the state of open-mindedness, receptivity of like, okay, like I'll just take in what's around me. I'm not going to judge things. Um, there was this, I have a little story, a t-shirt that I saw in a window. I was in Disney with my family several years ago, and the t-shirt just said, have a day. And that was all. And I had this huge light bulb moment. I don't think I'll ever forget it. Like this moment has been so pivotal for me. I think I was like 20 or 21 at the time. Um, and it was just this huge realization of like how much I judge things or how much I used to judge things. Of course, it comes up sometimes, but I've really made it a point to just let the days come as they are. No judging them as a good day or a bad day, just having a day. And that really has opened me up to like if something goes wrong in my morning, if I like spill my coffee or something that would usually then influence me to have a bad day the rest of the day, I'm able to like in that moment be like, oh, I spilled my coffee. Okay, that doesn't mean anything about the rest of my day. Like I can just have a day. I don't have to have a bad day. And then if you're in the expectation of always having a good day, you're inevitably going to be let down at some point. So it's like, how can we just accept things as they are? And getting into that mindset when you're going on your artist date with yourself, I think is super, super important and beneficial and supportive. What else for creativity? Definitely trying new things. As an artist, I typically work with paint, and a week or two ago, I decided one night I was gonna go buy a tub of clay. It was like $7 or $10, like super cheap. It was a Crayola bucket of clay. And I went over to one of my girlfriend's houses and we just sat and made clay magnets that night. It was easy, cheap, got me out of my normal like painting routine because I've been feeling a little stuck with paintings, but it got me back into that creative flow state. And again, since it wasn't a painting, there was no expectation of how things should come out. So I just had fun. What did I make magnets of? I think there was a lime. I ended up doing a fish and a disco ball and little like tiles that I painted. Yeah, like we modeled the clay and then painted them. It was air dry, super easy. You don't need any other instruments. Just doing things like that that get the creative wheels turning, that help you bring more fun and joy and remove the seriousness out of life. Like, yes, there's some things that we really should tend to, but sometimes you kind of just have to like put your blinders on, support yourself first, and then once you're in that creative state, then that can help you go out into the world and solve problems that are going to really bring us together as a community or as a society. um, and doing things the way that they've always been done, when you get to a point where they're not working, you have to change. You have to step outside of the box. You have to think in new ways. And when we're in that creative state, we can get those solutions. So our society is very, very logically focused. And there's absolutely a time and a place for that. But we've leaned so far to the logic side that there's not a lot of room left to be creative. It's always about what's most realistic. And sometimes like you just have to break the realistic mold to get momentum going, to get somewhere new. And my page here, I really want this to be focused on living a more creative life, living a more intuitive life, because creativity and intuition are very closely intertwined. When you are in a creative state, you're open to your intuition. When you're open to your intuition, that influences your creativity. Your intuition is, in a really simple way, it's just like the ideas that you have coming to you. Or it could be like an impulse to, like, you don't know why you want to go do this thing, but you're feeling called to like go to this certain coffee shop, or you're feeling really drawn to eating a certain thing, or feeling really drawn to wearing a certain outfit when you go out. And then when you go out about your day and you're wearing this outfit, someone compliments you and it starts this conversation that you realize you have a connection somewhere, and then you can like meet people that way. Like, it just, when you're open to your creativity and intuition, your world will open up over and over and over again. It becomes so infinitely expansive. It's a really wild, amazing process. And I just want to help people experience that more, because life gets so much better. And I feel like we desperately need hope right now. Like, I know things are not going very well in the world, but we have the power to change that. But we have to change it within ourselves first. And we have to learn how to get to that base level of joy where we're not in a fear state all the time, where we're not worried and stressed, because that worry and stress is going to block your creativity and intuition. And another way that I have kind of started living a more alternative life to the like hustle culture is by living very slowly and intentionally. I'm someone that I require so much rest and so much alone time, and I'm just learning how to become okay with that. It's so different from what the rest of America does, but I'm accepting it and I'm allowing it, and that is influencing my creativity and my intuition and leading me to have more fun, more freedom, and more fulfillment. So that is a quick summary of some ways you can live alternatively if you're struggling with the burnout and the hopelessness and the lack of purpose and needing to find some fucking joy, because it's out there, it's available for you, you're worthy of it, you can tap into it.